And good afternoon, wrestling fans. Jimmy Gimmick here for 13th Floor Productions and N.E.W. North Wilkesboro Extreme Wrestling. What an exciting main event we have in store for you today. That world-renowned adventurer, Colonel Parks, takes on that gruesome twosome from ancient Egypt, Pharaoh Tokenkoff and his mummified monstrosity, King Bummadip. Today we're in beautiful North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, hosted by N.E.W. North Wilkesboro Extreme Wrestling. And today's match is brought to you in part by the Shrunken Heads of the Pharaoh, now available from 13th Floor Productions. Freak out your friends with the Shrunken Heads of the Pharaoh. Today's referee, Wayne Davis. We'll be back with this mummified main event right after these messages. Welcome back, wrestling fans. Jimmy Gimmick here for N.E.W. North Wilkesboro Extreme Wrestling. For the past little while, fans have been wondering about this Egyptian sarcophagus standing in the ring. Wait a minute. Pharaoh Tokenkoff has now appeared overlooking the ring. I'm not sure how he's going to open up that sarcophagus. It looks like it weighs a ton. Now the Pharaoh's using that magic staff. Looks like the sarcophagus is sliding open. And now we're getting our first look here at King Bummadip. Looks like ancient remains to me. Looks like something out of Colonel Parks' Museum of Mysteries. How could anyone expect a wrestling match out of that pile of bones? Maybe I spoke too soon. Some more magic here from Pharaoh Tokenkoff. Looks like he's trying to reanimate the mummy with some ancient incantations. My goodness, King Bummadip's starting to come to life. These wrestling fans can't believe what they're seeing here. Neither can I, to be honest. And it looks like King Bummadip's going to step out of that sarcophagus. He's been asleep for 1,000 years. My goodness, I hope he does some stretching before the match. It could be that he's well past his prime, but still in denial. Some of the wrestling fans here still in shock as King Bummadip makes his way to the center of the ring and assumes the position that he's so used to. And now more magic from Pharaoh Tokenkoff, who makes that sarcophagus disappear with a wave of his magic scepter before this sold-out crowd of flabbergasted wrestling fans who've probably never seen anything like this. Ladies and gentlemen, King Bummadip with Pharaoh Tokenkoff. And now we're awaiting the arrival of Colonel Parks, that world-famous adventurer who should be arriving at any moment.
I say here! I'm not afraid of this mummified monstrosity.
Yes, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the world-famous Colonel Parks, founder of Colonel Parks' world-famous Expedition and Safari Adventure Company.
Stand back, Sonny Jim! I'll turn this rapscallion into a petrified punching bag!
Colonel Parks looks like he certainly means business here today, and the wrestling fans couldn't be more excited about this mummified main event. And as he makes his way into the ring, let's go to the ringside announcer. Ladies and gentlemen, from Colonel Parks' world-famous Expedition and Safari Adventure Company, here is Colonel Parks! Colonel Parks, always a fan favorite here at Seamus Maloney and Company's Professional Wrestling Carnival Sideshow and N.E.W. North Wilkesboro Extreme Wrestling. You never know what to expect from Colonel Parks. Just in the past few weeks, we've seen Colonel Parks take on a gorilla, a voodoo witch doctor, and an abominable snowman, but something tells me he's going to have his hands full today with this monstrous mummy. But whatever the outcome, it's time to get started here. Pharaoh Tokenkoff certainly looks ready. N.E.W. referee Wayne Davis checking over Colonel Parks for foreign objects. I don't think he's got anything to worry about. Colonel Parks quite handy on his own with the fisticuffs.
Stand back, Sonny Jim! I'll turn this rapscallion into a petrified punching bag!
There you heard it, folks, from Colonel Parks' own mouth. Not sure if it was a challenge or a prediction, but either way, we're not going to see anything unless we can get some movement out of our main event mummy. Colonel Parks seeming to be the one wrapped a little too tight here. Looks like he's ready to get this show on the road. I admire his confidence, but he'd better learn some patience. King Bummadip's waited 1,000 years for this match. A few more minutes isn't going to make any difference to him. Now another spell from Tokenkoff.
I say!
Parks not sure what to think about this mummy-moving mumbo-jumbo. But whatever the spell, it doesn't seem to be working. Wait a minute. Looks like the mummy's once again coming to life here. Looks like he's taking a moment to get used to his surroundings. Now he's walking toward Colonel Parks. He'd better be one muscle-bound mummy if he plans on throwing hands with Colonel Parks. King Bummadip now stopping to take off some of those Egyptian raiments. Colonel Parks looks like he's ready for anything, but now it looks like he's not the only one who means business. King Bummadip looking really determined here. And the two gladiators begin to circle each other while we wait for the bell. The crowd's on the edge of their seats. And there's the bell. Looks like the mummy's going right after Colonel Parks. Parks out of the way, but the mummy keeps coming here. So far, the mummy a lot faster than expected, but he can't match the quickness of Colonel Parks here. Now it finally looks like Colonel Parks is going to get a hold of the mummy. Pharaoh Tokenkoff really getting into the match as the mummy scoops up Colonel Parks and puts him in an airplane spin here. Colonel Parks is the one getting tossed around like a rag doll as King Bummadip begins to spin him the other way now, and King Bummadip tosses Colonel Parks aside. This could be trouble for Colonel Parks, who's trying to crawl away here. Can't say I blame him, but it looks like King Bummadip's not going to let him get away that easy. More punishment from the petrified pugilist. He's got Colonel Parks' legs. What's he going to do here? My goodness, this is one misbehaving mummy, but it looks like Colonel Parks has still got some fight left in him. He's making his way back to his feet, and it looks like we're going to have to go to commercial, but don't go away. We'll be back with more mummified mayhem after these messages. And welcome back, wrestling fans. This battle continues. Colonel Parks still looking for a way to break through the defenses of King Bummadip. Looks like he's finally got his hands on him at least. And now Parks locks in a side headlock. He's got it locked in tight. This ought to slow the mummy down a little bit at least. King Bummadip trying to break free. Now it looks like Colonel Parks is completely covered with scorpions here. Remind me not to get too close to any of the mummies that Colonel Parks has display in his Museum of Mysteries. Well, it looks like Colonel Parks has them all cleared away here. It's going to take more than a few scorpions to do in the mighty Colonel Parks. He's moving right back in for another clinch. But it looks like Bummadip's going to push him into the corner. Choking, of course, is illegal. Perhaps there's been a few rule changes in the last 2,000 years. Pharaoh Tokenkoff needs to sit down with him for a little review of the rules. And now it looks like Colonel Parks is going to finally break away here. So far, Colonel Parks has really had his hands full. And now once again, the two gladiators are going to clinch. Colonel Parks giving a little ground, but now he's coming back. Colonel Parks holding his own, but I don't think he wants to go toe-to-toe with this muscle-bound mummy. And there he goes with a nice armbar here. I venture to say that the only way he's going to win this match is by using superior technique. But now here's Bummadip with a rake to the eyes. Colonel Parks has to let go of that armbar and go back to the drawing board here. But I'll have to say that Colonel Parks looks like he's getting fed up with King Bummadip's underhanded tactics. King Bummadip no longer looking so sure of himself here. Pharaoh Tokenkoff likewise visibly frustrated. So far I'd have to give this one to the mummy, but Colonel Parks continues to fight here. It looks like it's time for a little more fisticuffs. Pharaoh Tokenkoff directing the punches of King Bummadip with that magic scepter here. Pharaoh Tokenkoff couldn't be more proud of himself, as his petrified pugilist knocks the pith helmet right off of Colonel Parks' head. Without that head protection, Colonel Parks could be in trouble. Looks like they're going to lock up again here. Colonel Parks just can't match the power of that mummy. Now the mummy's going to slam his head into the corner, my goodness. Colonel Parks trying to shake off the damage, but the mummy slams his face into that corner turnbuckle again.
Heavens to Betsy!
Pharaoh Tokenkoff certainly pleased with the way this is going. If something doesn't change, Colonel Parks is going to lose to this hieroglyphic heavyweight champion. And now a series of damaging forearms to the shoulder and back of Colonel Parks. And now he knocks Colonel Parks right down to his knees. But Colonel Parks, one tough individual, he's still trying to fight his way back here. He's up on his feet again. He's got to find a way to turn this match around. His plans of winning this match are slowly becoming unraveled. But now it looks like he's going to rear back and give a couple of big right hands to King Bummadip. But Pharaoh Tokenkoff's going to counter with some more magic, and a big right hand from the mummy sends Colonel Parks crashing to the canvas. Pharaoh Tokenkoff celebrating as the mummy delivers a nice elbow drop. This could be it for Colonel Parks. And now it looks like the mummy's going to move in, dragging Colonel Parks to his feet by the hair, and now the mummy applies a sleeper. I hope Colonel Parks doesn't end up being the one going back to sleep in that sarcophagus. Looks like Pharaoh Tokenkoff's got his hieroglyphic hopes up. Colonel Parks trying to rally a little strength here. Looks like he's going to push his way back up to his feet. and he works his way around to the ropes. Bummadip now slinging Parks across the ring against the ropes, and it's a double clothesline, sending both of the gladiators crashing to the canvas. And it looks like Colonel Parks is going to be the first back up to his feet. Pharaoh Tokenkoff now doing more incantations, trying to resurrect the motionless mummy again, and it looks like he's going to be successful. King Bummadip once again coming back to life here, and working his way back up to his feet. It looks like we're in for one last round, but it looks like King Bummadip's tired of playing around here. He's starting to remove the rest of those Egyptian raiments. But it looks like he's not the only one tired of playing around here. Colonel Parks really looking like he's ready for business. And the crowd feels the intensity just like Pharaoh Tokenkoff. And here comes Colonel Parks with a series of punches to the midsection. That's bound to do some damage to those internal organs if they aren't in a jar somewhere. Colonel Parks still on the move here, looking for an opening. He really knows how to throw the combinations. Pharaoh Tokenkoff starting to look a little bit worried here. More combinations from Colonel Parks. Pharaoh Tokenkoff covering his eyes. He doesn't want to watch what's happening to his petrified protege. And now it looks like Parks is going to move in for another armbar here. He's trying to keep it steady, trying to get the right position. What's he going to do here? Whatever it is, it better be good. He's been in trouble so far. Looks like he's going to jerk down on that arm. And the arm comes completely loose here. Colonel Parks looks quite disgusted as he lets the amputated limb fall to the canvas. Tokenkoff not sure what to think either, but he certainly doesn't look happy about it. This should certainly be to the advantage of Colonel Parks. There's nothing in the N.E.W. rulebook about accidental dismemberment, so it looks like the match is going to continue. A couple of nice uppercuts from Colonel Parks. I guess this is a taped fist match if there ever was one. Pharaoh Tokenkoff still can't bear to watch. Colonel Parks with another round of punches to Bummadip's mummified midsection. And now it looks like the two are going to lock up again. King Bummadip pushing Parks back into that corner, and now he's going to do a one-handed choke. He sure is tough for a one-handed hieroglyph, but he's only got one arm, so Parks pushes him away fairly easily. I think Colonel Parks is going to have to remove that other arm before he can wrap this one up, and sure enough, pulls it loose as well, and tosses it aside. Things are looking up for Parks. He's completely disarmed this mummy, much to the chagrin of Pharaoh Tokenkoff. King Bummadip now little more than a petrified punching bag. He's just about out of offensive weapons other than maybe a hieroglyphic headbutt. Colonel Parks continuing to unload on the mummy. That has to hurt no matter what century you were born in. But Parks needs to wrap this one up. I'm not sure what he's going to do. Wait a minute, he's got a hold of that cloth here. It looks like he's going to unwrap King Bummadip. There's nothing underneath those Egyptian wrappings. It's affecting Tokenkoff as well. And with nothing left of the mummy, Wayne Davis is going to call the match here. Colonel Parks is the victor. Tokenkoff pitching a Pharaoh fit here, but there's nothing he can do. The crowd couldn't be more pleased. Colonel Parks celebrating his victory in the ring here. Tokenkoff still stomping his Pharaoh feet. And it looks like he's going to fade away here, going back to whatever realm he came from. Another victory for the mighty Colonel Parks, founder of Colonel Parks' world-famous Expedition and Safari Adventure Company. This has been a presentation of 13th Floor Productions, Seamus Maloney and Company's Professional Wrestling Carnival Sideshow, and N.E.W. North Wilkesboro Extreme Wrestling. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
And back here.